Hey everybody, welcome back to ACES53 with Ed Parcaut and myself. It was dragging on my end for a minute, but anyway, it's a Tuesday, so who do you have? Ed and myself, because Ed is back this week, even though he's out attending an event. He's back with us in person to talk today. So how are you doing, Ed?
Doing okay. How you doing, Brian?
Good. Did you enjoy your hiking adventures last week?
Yeah, so last week we were in Bryce and then Zion and did some nice fun hiking. We drove from Modesto to Utah because you needed a vehicle. It was just easier.
Yeah.
I can't take Ubers, or I don't want to fly in here. So we ended up going there for 3 days. First day was pretty easy. Second day was over 8 miles, a lot of climbing. And then third day we went back and we were going to tour the place on the bus, ended up stopping by the lodge and ended up being there for 3 hours drinking beer and everything else. So I had a great day the third day. And then we ended up coming to Vegas for 3 days, got home on Friday, and flew out on Sunday to Vegas again for a mastermind. I'll tell you more about it after it's done.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be the next following Tuesday or whatever. So, or if we don't have a joker for Thursday, we'll figure it out.
Well, yeah, but I'll try to do Thursday from the room.
Yeah.
Because I'll have time. I can't fly out until 1. So.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I forgot about that. So,
well, I couldn't get out Wednesday night because the thing's till 7, and the last flight's at 7:40.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I got you.
Anyway, I'm done bitching. But I've been I know you've been. Thanks for taking care of it last week. But I've been working on so I started a veterans benefits company. And the big thing is you got to get the website set up, got to get the landing pages, all the different things set up so you can get your A2P and all the fun stuff you need through Go High Level and all that stuff. But I don't know if I talked to you about this or not, but I think personally, but not on here. But
yeah,
I interviewed a guy on Enter Edison and I dropped him a couple weeks ago, I think last week. Basically, he was talking about how people with their websites and why he was so successful. He's been doing websites for 15 years, and it wasn't his plan. He worked in corporate America forever as marketing and was all over. And then he ended up buying one of his, what's it called? The vendors, and started that company. And then he was like, nobody does the customer journey. Right. And when they design their website, they don't know who their customer is, they don't know their journey. And they also, every call to action is a yelling.
Yeah.
Buy now, join now, all this. And he's like, how can you make it to where it is a come along with me call to action?
Right.
And that's why he does so well. And so with that information, and I put a bunch of stuff into a prompt. And what's nice about, which I didn't use, but ChatGPT now will allow you to, when you go to make a prompt, they ask you, what are you trying to make? And what is it for? Yeah. Different than before, where it just said, here it is, make the prompt yourself.
Yeah.
So it's helping you a lot. But I made this prompt to where it will check whatever you drop into it or tell it to go look at to see if it works with the customer's journey and if it has all the actions for it. And so with that, I used it to create my Helping the Brave website for disability benefits. And Helping the Brave's been around for 4 years as a podcast. And now we're doing a benefit thing and a bunch of other stuff, the community through Operation Firewalk and all the other stuff. And I'm telling you, I'm amazed how well this thing has done for me.
The ChatGPT asking the prompt in that way?
New prompt that I created about audience first.
Yeah.
Because we do it about us. And even I had it look at my website and it's telling me, hey, dumb shit, this is all about you. This isn't about who your client is. So there's a lot of stuff, even my speaker page, I'm working on changing right now because it helped me rewrite everything. Because when we did it, Brian, the people who did it just did it. They didn't really ask us anything originally.
Yeah. Oh, I think that it's changed too. Like it used to be the website was supposed to be about you. And that was it. Like if you looked really what were websites and the purpose for when they're first out there was, here's a company, but the customer journeys really started getting popular the last few years. And matter of fact, it's ironic that this is the topic today because I just redid the website on my own for that very reason. Because people said, great, I'm learning to decode faces. It doesn't tell me how I benefit, what I do from it, you're making the page all about you. And we went through the same designer, and that's the exact same feedback I got was, great, you're talking all about yourself. And so when somebody hits the website, if they want to know you, good, but that's not how are you helping them. So it's ironic that that's what you wanted to talk about today, because that's exactly what I did this past weekend. As I sat and I went through the different pages, I'm like, okay, and I've revamped it to say, okay, what is the customer going to get out of it, not just who is Brian.
Did you change your because I did your website, by the way.
Oh, did you? Well, I'll have to show it to you when we're off of here. It's in the staging. I haven't pushed it out yet. So I went through it this weekend, changed it, like the whole front page. I reorganized the speaker page because it went from one video, but then you had to read a whole bunch about me before you could see the other videos and who have I spoke for. And people don't care about who you are until they see what have you already done. And that was one of the things of one of my most recent talks is, are you actually interesting? When people go and look at you, are you talking about yourself? Or are you showing them something you've done that they get to figure out who you are? And so I pushed my bio down on my speaker page down quite a bit till after they see the work that's been done, then they can read about the bio.
Well, so above the fold, everybody know this, it should say everything that you need to say.
Right.
The rest of it is just, here's more information in case you didn't get what I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
You're still using the phrase decoding faces, right?
Now it's decode the discussion. Yeah.
See, and this, I don't know if I can share this with a laptop only. Let's see if I can. I won't, because I thought this was a great idea. Oh, George. Select. I'm trying to select. Oh, there it is.
You're good.
All right, share. All right, so you can see it, right, Brian?
Yes and no. I gotta try to make it larger on my end here. Let me see. I mean, yes, it's up on the screen. I just can't see that much of it.
Well,
there you go. Okay, now I can see it.
Get your glasses on.
Yep. I had to, because I've got all the pictures and everything's down below. I couldn't see.
I understand. So it went through your thing about your hero section and everything you did and introduction. It went through all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, thanks for reviewing. Here's a breakdown of the current homepage is performing based on buyer's journey and status. Unique differentiation is clear. Your visual, just saying everything about it. And then it says, here's your opportunities for improvement.
Oh yeah, send all that to me. Yeah.
Current headline is learn the unfair advantage of how to decode facial features. That's what it was, right?
Yep.
But you change that. But it says a more audience-centered version might be want to instantly connect with anyone you meet.
Yeah.
You follow me here?
Yep. So mine's changed now. Do you want to increase sales and enhance customer experience? Yeah. So I basically did what it's saying.
You're right. So now what I'm getting at is it's just how is it relating to that person more? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the brand voice and everything else. That's all I wanted to show you. I'll send you the because I thought it was, because I even after I see I'm in a hotel room. Anyway, even after I made my first go through with my Helping the Brave, then I did, I had each page redone, and then I've done the homepage and then this veterans benefits and cost page redone like multiple times after I have it through. And I say, can we do anything better? And it goes, well, by the way, you could do this and this and this. But what's nice is it makes sure that you are hitting what you need to hit, right, to talk to your client, your avatar, your perfect person, which we've been talking about forever. And we never know the buyer's journey. We don't even focus on it. I mean, not we, but in general, we normally go, okay, you can do my website. Okay, this is what I want, blah, blah, blah. And I had somebody do all the SEO on my website with the new pod thing I had. Cost me 3 hours of time.
Can you see that or no?
Yeah, decode the discussion, learn the unfair advantage of how to increase sales and customer satisfaction. What I would tell you to do, this is a link inside of your website, right? Is this High Level's website, or is this?
This is WordPress on a high level. Yeah. Okay.
I would just, I'll forward this to you and just have it rerun it and see what it thinks.
Yeah.
And then I'll clean it up. But I mean, get me out of my bedroom, will you?
Okay. There you go.
Thanks. It's just so many things. Like when I looked at my speaker page, it was like, this is not anything good. you know,
Right.
and that's something that somebody else created. So I have, and I have all this stuff to do for edparcaut.com, but I'm trying to finish the Helping the Brave first.
Yeah.
Connects the podcast and everything else. And so I have all the stuff I want to shove in because I've had all these lead magnets created for my personal site and everything else. And they're like, we're ready to upload these. And I'm like, okay, but I want to make these changes first. And I want to change the speaker page first because that's more important for me. And then have it, then I'm going to do my one page I already had done, which is the what I do, right? And then the homepage just changed really above the fold. The rest of the stuff isn't that important to me because it is important, but not as much as what says above the fold.
Yeah.
On the homepage. The other stuff is you want to find out more about me. Well, you got the podcast, the radio, and everything else as the navigation bar. But really, what do I do? And I was like, okay, originally it was all set up. Hey, he's out of the mortgage industry. Well, it didn't work that way. I'm still in it, but I do really
specialized.
Yeah, exactly. A lot more specialized.
Yeah. Well, and I think going back to it, really websites were originally created like, hey, you have one to show you're a person. And it's changed over time because now people want to know what's in it for me. And that's always been a common theme. But that's not the way websites were designed. They were kind of like a brag sheet to build credibility. So if you go look even at corporations' websites, very few of them still focus on the customer journey. However, smaller businesses and individuals are now taking that route. And that's when one of the masterminds I joined recently, that's their entire thing. They're like, what's your phrase? You know, so like for me, it's decode the discussion. I want to decode the deal, but somebody's already written a book and got that website and all that. But so you find a phrase that you can trademark or whatever, and then you have it down below. And then people go, oh, yeah, that's what I want to learn or not. But before it was like, well, who's Ed? I want to know who Ed is. Right. And now it's what can Ed help me with is what it feels like everything changed to.
Well, it's really we really got focused. And I think that's just because you and I got more in depth with this over the last 2 years that we're open to this. These people have already been here. We just didn't know. We've never done this stuff. And even though if I go back in time when I did, look at that shadow puppets in behind me. If we go back in time where I did direct mail, I did it then. I knew who my customer was. I knew exactly their journey. I knew what points I needed to hit. But when it came to websites, people are like, just do this. You need to put this out there. So people go, websites aren't important anymore. It's this, isn't it? I beg to differ. Sometimes you can get away with a landing page website, and sometimes you need more information. Like I did a landing page first for Helping the Brave to try to do certain things, and it just wasn't enough. It's good for when they want, hey, send this through an Instagram lead. You're trying to do different things like that, and a funnel page and all this, because the funnel page and landing page is pretty much the same in a lot of places.
Yeah. Well, and going back to high level, they've got an entire library that's like, hey, you want to learn how to do this? Here you go. As long as you have an account with them, you get free access to the library to set everything up. So one of the things I'm going to set up in the next week is instead of me having, I think I have a link tree or whoever I have, that's now built into high level. Right. And it'll match the color scheme of your brand and everything else. And it's one less thing that I have to pay for this third party. I mean, I'll still keep paying for it, but I'll trim it down because I have legacy podcasts and videos out there that link to those things. But as far as going forward, everything
can go back and adjust all those things, edit them.
That's what I'm going to do on some of the different websites, but not everywhere you can get rid of it. Like it's old videos, old podcasting. But I want to create a new one that matches the color scheme, because why pay Social Tap or Linktree or whoever you're using to have that list of things? It's built into high level now. Well,
that's just like, all right. So I moved my WordPress, remember, originally over from the same place you were at, the multi-million-dollar costing place, over to high level. And then they had to go in and I luckily I have this pod because it was very inexpensive for this to be done. And I tell everybody, go get a pod, level 9, go do it, go talk to them. They're the place to go. And I think it's the best thing. The problem is I signed up for 40 hours and in 2 weeks I used up 40 hours. And so I had to do it.
Because you're being active with it, but it'll go on.
I'm overusing it because I had a long list. I needed to get stuff done and I've been waiting on it. And once that list is done, I won't have that. I'll have need, but not as much as the need at the time.
And Ed's breaking his own rules. So for people who are listening, a pod is a team of VAs that can attack an entire project. Instead of hiring one VA, there's a pod of VAs, all with different skills, that he just sends the request to them, and somebody on the team can work on it.
Right. I will have a project manager of that. He's my one person, and he sends it to who needs to do it for me and gets it done. And pretty much the certain web stuff that I've had done is done by the same guy all the time. Yeah. And then there's some other stuff that's done by somebody else. But this one lady who's been doing my copywriting stuff, oh my God, freaking amazing. I mean, I showed some people the lead magnets that I gave them, which was just a PDF of information. Yep. And what came out of there was just amazing. Yeah. And I was like, wow. And so it's amazing when you have good places to go that they can make your lead magnets look so much better.
Exactly.
And then I also uploaded 2 videos because I have an introduction video on helping the braid that I recorded. And I was telling you yesterday, I was killing myself because I had so many videos I needed to record, had nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it was for website stuff. Like, here's an intro video of this. Here is the instructional video and then they're going to put a deck associated with my voice will be over what's showing and as you're talking. And then I needed to do our firewalk video, which I've been needing to do for a while. And I finally did it. But with chat,
you did or they did it. You just sent it to them, and then they knocked it out.
Well, the firewalk, I just needed to record it, and I sent it to Ralph to trim it and upload it because he handles our firewalk stuff.
Gotcha.
But the other ones, I submitted it to them. So one, they could clean up the video, maybe put a little nice opener or close on it, and then the other one that's instructional, they're going to cut it up and then put a deck, the PowerPoint in there that talks about the stuff as I'm talking. That's what they're going to do. And so that way, so what I'm getting at is it's weird, not really, I guess weird, but not doing it yourself and just just giving it to somebody to do. And in 2 days you have it back and it's better than what you would have done.
Mm-hmm. Well, the whole buy back your time, Dan Martell's book is who can you hire that can do it better, faster, if you have money. Now, if you have zero money, sweat equity is the way to go. But that's the question: is at what point does the sweat equity hold you back from making money? And we talked about that, numerous times. And that's the big challenge of being an entrepreneur is sometimes you have to invest money you don't have to start making money come in. And that's a frustrating part.
Well, this level 9 pod that we just talked about, which was a group, they have a 20-hour for $500 some a month, and they have a 40-hour for $697 a month. Which is not expensive. So, I mean, you want to go with the 40 because why would you go 20 for $100 less?
Right.
Right. And then you just go, that's where you start. And if you are doing the same task over and over again, then maybe at that time you get a part-time VA or a full-time VA to handle that stuff for you because it's the same task over and over again. But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and you and I talked about it. That was scary before because you had to give people full access where you can control everything. But this past weekend, I had to give somebody access to my YouTube. And all you do is you create a user account for them, not an admin account. You can control what people have access to. And so people can't steal and hijack accounts like they could 4 to 5 or 3 to 5 years ago.
Right. And this other thing, it's like they've been around, the level 9 people have been around for a while. And I know other people who have trusted them and the people who referred me to them. If you go to their website, he's on there as one of the video, testimonials. Yeah. So it's important. So
awesome. Yeah. All right. So you're going to be out there. This goes back to what we talked about before. You're back in 2025 attending events again. So with this being the first one that you went back to, what do you think has changed going into events now?
I'll let you know in a couple of days.
Yeah.
One thing that's changed is I was like telling my wife, dude, I have not been to an event in 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I just stopped going. I mean, our industry took a hit. And also, at what point do you need to go if you're not doing what you need to do in the first place and get everything in place?
That's the whole dilemma. There's a part when I was talking about this, and it may have been when you weren't on, or maybe on one of the podcasts I was on. We're taught you're not supposed to do anything until you go achieve that next level of education. So, high school, then you go to college. Are you going to get your master's? Oh, you got your master's. You're going to get your PhD. Oh, are you going to be a doctorate? Oh, you need that. Well, you're in IT. You need to go get the certification before you're allowed to actually do it. And that's not real life. It's important for some things, especially if you're in IT. But the reality is you need to go and try it and then adopt and change instead of thinking I have to take class after class or read book after book. And I'm one of the worst about that. We talked earlier, I joined 2 different masterminds a month apart, and I'm already in 3 masterminds. And it's like one of those of, at what point is it counterproductive? And then I've got a guy's Instagram account that's hitting me up like, hey, I can help you reach this. And it's one of those of, is it him? Is it his, his team selling through LinkedIn? I said Instagram, but I meant LinkedIn. And it's tempting to want to join. You and I know another guy that, just recently started Mastermind that sounds freaking phenomenal, but it would be like, okay, that's another one I have to attend plus money out of my pocket when there's not consistent money coming in. So it's one of those of, there's absolutely nothing wrong with chasing education as long as you start putting it in as experience, not just learning more.
And I was talking about, if you already know the bunch of knowledge and you have not put that in play right now and getting it going and everything else, then you don't need to learn something else until you have that done. My problem was trying to figure out who Ed was.
Yeah.
And where going forward, what's my plan? What am I doing? Am I staying in this industry that's abused me, or am I changing industries, or all that different things we were looking at? And it's really, I see now, really it's about me and what I know and all that knowledge I need to put out there. That's what I see more.
What? I mean, that personal branding we've been talking about for a year. What? Huh?
No, well, I've always put out me, but I think the fact that real question is I'm so into vets now. I mean, I'm a vet now. I've always been into vets, but I'm just saying just what I'm doing now more than anything else. Operation Firewalk, which is coming up May 3rd. It's for veterans, first responders, and their families. It's all about helping them because, a huge amount of our community suicide a day, 50 a day for each of us, first responders and veterans, that we're trying to stop that, curve that. And, so I'm doing that. I'm doing now the benefits package because I'm going through the benefits, and I found out how hard it is. And that's just, and how when I do something, I do it really well. And it takes a while to get all that into place. And I just realized, okay, I really need to go 100% into veterans, and then this other stuff, if it comes, it comes. I'm not going.
When is the Firewalk again? May
3rd, 2025.
There you go, on the fly.
Look at that.
Yeah, when I was talking with Ed, Jim last week, we talked about your Firewalk coming up too.
Oh, did you? Thank you.
Yep,
of course. I didn't even, be honest with you, I didn't even watch it. Sorry.
Oh, how dare you?
Yeah, I'll drop it and transcribe it and see what it says. Make it faster.
Yeah. Hey, why not?
Oh, I'll put it on 2 speeds, double the speed. It's funny because we were dropping.
It was a lot of recovering what Jim just launched, but we ended up talking about the Firewalk since you had it coming up. That's why I already had the banner ready. I just forgot to put the date on it.
Oh, so that's May 3rd. And, it's just doing that and getting more involved with that is just, everybody wants to help vets. Yeah. And I just find that people just don't know what's out there as a veteran for you, what's available. We went to Texas Roadhouse on yesterday before I left, and they do a 30% discount for vets.
Really?
Not vets family, for the veteran. So
that's fine. That's completely fine. Look, people have put their lives at risk. My dad was Air Force. My brother was Air Force and Army.
I don't know if all Texas Roadhouse does it, but this one does. But I was like, that was only $9. Oh, it's off of my meal, which is fine. It ended up being about 10% overall.
Yep. Still. Yeah. Hey, it all adds up.
Yeah, sorry. And that's how it should be. I'm the one who signed on the line, not my wife, not my daughter, not her boyfriend. And why should they lose out on that much revenue when it's really not? They're trying to support the vet. What I'm getting at is there's so much out there. We don't even know about it.
Yep.
Allegiant Air I flew, which I don't know if you know Allegiant Air. They're okay.
I've heard of it, but never flown them.
They have this huge Raider stadium here in Vegas.
Yeah. Okay, that I've heard of.
Okay. That's the Air. So if you're a vet, you don't pay for baggage.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so at all, even because they, all the smaller ones, like it's an hour flight from Stockton to Vegas, 59 minutes. So I used them because I usually jet suites, but they couldn't fly out and all that. you know how it works. But anyways, lady's like, you know, you don't have to pay for your own bags when you're a veteran. I'm like, no, I didn't know that. She goes, yeah, you get up to 2 bags and up to 90 pounds each.
Nice.
So I'm just saying there's just so much out there that we don't know about to help vets because people want to get back. And so somebody needs to put that out there. And that's my plan with helping the Braves. What I've wanted to do is finally coming into play.
Sure. All right. Well, it's getting up. What's that?
It's all about me today.
I know. That's all right. You were lonely. You weren't here last week. You got to tell people what you're up to. We got to bring them back up to speed.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things I see, you know, there's people we know, different people who are out there helping educate veterans on how to buy investment properties and all the other stuff that's out there. There's just a bunch of people out there doing stuff, and we need to get us all together. And so vets know where to go and who to talk to. So.
Exactly. So we'll put that back up there again for the firewalk. There you go. May 3rd.
And just so you know, if you're not a veteran first responder, you can still come.
Yeah. Anybody lives in the area. It's in Modesto, right?
Yeah, Modesto, California.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We won't turn anybody away who needs to walk.
Awesome. All right. Well, go enjoy Vegas or near Vegas.
Dude, it's Summerlin. I should call Courtney. I'd like to look at a new housing track, please.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way I see him, because he never shows up.
Oh, you better catch him before. No, it's 3:00. You've already missed your opportunity.
He's out getting the senior citizen discount on dinner. Get ready to go to bed.
Too funny. All right. Well, get back to prepping for your stuff. Then we'll see who we'll have on Thursday. And then next week on Tuesday, you can tell us what you learned being back in the swing of things with attending events. What's changed in the 2 years you've been away as far as what you're seeing? It's kind of like cheating since you know who's putting this one on, but it'll be interesting to hear.
Well, it's not cheating because you went to all those events and you gave me notes. That's
right.
Cheating.
Yes.
So I didn't go to the events. I still got the information though. I just
that's a very valid point. So anyway, why don't you take us out?
Why spend the money if I have Brian going for free?
Yeah. Oh, I tell you, I bought a Plod because I realized I went to Secret Knock 2 weeks ago. I didn't take any notes because it was more about networking, catching up with people. And a lot of speakers, you see them speak before, so like, oh, okay, not that big. But somebody goes, hey, can I see your notes? I'm like, I didn't take a single note this time.
And everybody's going, Brian didn't take notes? Yeah. Brian's our note guy.
I know. That's what I told Steve. I'm like, it was weird because it was really good, but I don't have a single note. And somebody asked me like what my favorite takeaway was. And I'm like, actually, it was Greg's son being back up there because after what happened to him. But yeah, no notes takeaway the last time I was there. So anyway, let's get this over with for today.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, everybody. And thanks for dealing with the fact that I don't have my microphone and my headphones and all that fun stuff. So don't give me a hard time because I was traveling.
Please give him a hard time.
All right, everybody, make it a great day. We'll talk to you we'll talk to you on Thursday after and tell you what's going on because we're probably not going to have a joker.
Right.
So, all right, everybody, make a great day. Thank you, sir. Thanks for being here, Brian.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye.